friend, GB, because I'm Gail Brewer and she's Gail Benjamin. So we're
GB 1 and 2.
GB 1 and 2. You're 1. I'm 2. So tell us a little bit about the history of how this got started and where you'd like to go with the 2019 charter. We're so glad you're the chair.
Thank you very much. Well, I think it's important to start from the perspective that every other Charter Revision Commission has been, all of the appointees have been appointed by the mayor. Mm-hmm. So they have been mayor's commissions. But the state allows the city council, under certain circumstances, to appoint a Charter Revision Commission when the mayor has not. Of course, the mayor appointed one for 2018, and they finished their work. But this particular commission, as a result of city council legislation that you and Tish James brought to the council, allowed for a representation by all of the citywide elected officials and all of the borough presidents. So there's a very different constituency, and they represent a much wider variety of viewpoints and experiences, and that has meant that the commission thinks differently than it has in the past. It's not as monolithic, it's not as unanimous. It will be interesting as we continue to delve through some of the issues on where we stand. But I think that's been a good thing overall for the city. Jim, would you?
Yeah, Jim, add to it, and I think Gail would agree that Jim is the expert on the city charter in many ways, so we're delighted that you're on it. So what's the process? What's your give and take on this?
I think, democracy can be messy, and this might be a little messy, but I think having these conversations are a good thing. When you have, mayoral appointed commissions that often last just 4, 5, 6 months, I don't think there's a lot of discussion about, issues that there isn't already some degree of consensus on. And I think here we're having some of that. It probably will be more difficult, in the end, but that's, hopefully things that are worth getting to are worth a little difficulty in getting there. So we started, as Chair Benjamin said, in July of 18 with our first meeting. We had our first round of borough hearings in September. Expert panels just wrapped up over the winter in the areas you mentioned: governance, elections, land use, finance. And now we're going to move on to our second round of borough hearings.
And do you think this is a good process? Is there some way that people know about it, or what do you think about the process?
I think it's very important that we hear from the public as much as possible. I'm under no illusions that the public has all of the same knowledge or even awareness of the importance of the charter as a document. But we have had a robust outreach to the public. We have a website, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram. We go to public meetings all the time. I know that we've been at community board meetings in most of the boroughs. We've been at some borough board meetings in some of the boroughs. We've gone to meetings with interested entities or groups or people. We've received written comments both on our website, in writing. As you know, the staff report, based on all of those comments, came out this week, and that is what we'll be having the borough hearings on starting next week.
How do you get people interested in these topics? I mean, I love them. This is our weeds, but it's our Constitution.
It is, and it's important, and small changes, I think, can make significant differences. And it is probably not that easy, although I think at our public hearings, our first round of public hearings, our Manhattan hearing started at 6 p.m. and went till 1 o'clock in the morning. And people stayed the entire time. So there are people out there that are interested. I've gone to a couple of libraries to talk to groups of people, a couple of clubs. I think we're going to do much more of that as we start to, know what our get towards our final basket of proposals. But we really need everybody's help. We need everybody who is interested in this topic to go on our website, to read, to tell organizations that they're affiliated with, and spread the word.
And so thank you both very much for doing this, and we look forward to our next guest.
Thank you for having us.